Vasroda! Skyrim. Or as my friend, one of my friends a long time ago said, Skyrim. Yeah, possibly greatest video game of all time. Bethesda. Yeah, I played this on the PS3 a long time ago. I think I purchased this game like 5 different times at this point. Multiple playthroughs, easily. Did like a Nord, Khajiit obviously. I think I did Khajiit a couple times. I don't think I ever touched Argonian. I think I've only really played about 3 different times, but very long, very drawn out playthroughs each time. Yeah, I first knew about this game when it first came out from one of my friends back in high school. I'd go over to his house after school or whatever, and him and his family, he had 2 brothers, a sister, 2 sisters, and the mom. And dad came around here and there, and one of the sister's boyfriends, so it was a packed house. But they were really into video games, all of them. They took turns. But yeah, they had an Xbox 360 and a giant TV, and I didn't have any of that obviously, but yeah, they took gaming pretty seriously. And I'll never forget that moment when I first saw Skyrim on the big screen. I'm like, what is this? And it was so hot, and they were all taking turns playing it, and we all loved it like instantly. It was a phenomenon. All I remember is seeing like the hands and magic and exploring and the music and staying up late at night. It'd be daytime and the nighttime by the time they got played all through the night, especially on weekends or whatever, right? Have a sleepover or something. The game was so cool. And I've seen them play other games, but it was mostly Skyrim, and I think for that to be my first experience with the game, I wouldn't have had it any other way. I'm really glad that my friend was able to introduce it to me. I saw it the way it was supposed to be played on a way nicer TV than I would have ever had at the time. That's how it's supposed to be. Skyrim, big, you know, booming and loud and just, oh, it's so cool. And with how close I was to them, that game just meant so much more to me because it meant a lot to them at the same time. So I definitely had it's just, the rest has been history. Obviously I got the game myself at some point. This is before special edition, legendary, anniversary, whatever the heck they've had going on since then. Played hours of it. I actually played it until I played it for so long. Dude, I got to like level 90 something. I don't know, but, or 80. I played it so long where the game just kept crashing, glitches, bugs, you name it. Like, it just stopped working completely. I might have even lost my game file at the time. I don't really remember. It was a long time ago, obviously, but you know, I really do think it's the first game I've spent so much time with to the point where the game broke. That's saying something. And obviously, like, yeah, it's a Bethesda game. It has problems, but I don't really even know if this was that. Like, you play the game nowadays, yeah, it has issues, but like, it's more than playable, sure. Like, obviously they've updated and patched and whatever since then, right? But it really did get to a point where I just had weird experiences with this game. That happened. My friends introduced me to it. I've bought so many different versions of it, played it on different platforms, PS3, PS4, PS5 now. I've seen my friend play it on a rented, you know, temporary Alienware laptop years ago after some rave or something. He was just playing it and we were at Denny's. I mean, I've seen this game in so many different ways. I went to one of my neighbor's houses actually with an old coworker, but it was his friend. I didn't even know they lived there. And when we went there, they were playing Skyrim on a freaking projector on the wall. I was like, dude. I don't even think they had a sheet or anything, just the wall. I just thought that was so cool to see that portrayed, Skyrim portrayed in that way. I've seen it all. I've played Skyrim on my big fat TV a long time ago, those big old bastards. I mean, this game is just, it's crazy. I've played it on multiple different monitors of my own. Big TV, small TV. You know, the TV out in the living room, it's, dude. I mean, this game will be there for you in so many different ways. If you were around for the beginning, it like never goes away. It always finds a way to pop up into your life and like, hey, don't forget me and play me and all these things. I think I was even playing this in, like, so not only my friends' houses, but my houses too. I've moved different places. I've played this game in so many different ways, at so many different times. Seen it in so many different places. I mean, the game's almost too big for its own good. It really is kind of weird and strange and doesn't make sense, and it's like an entity of its own and has its own energy and soul. Which reminds me of another time that I played this. I've had plenty of experience with the game at this point. So I can kind of tell like what's real and what's not. I swear to God, I feel like a ghost played this game with me at one point in time. I'll never forget that night. It was the strangest thing, like, you know, people can tell the difference between, like, you know, video games, but that's my point, is like technology, video games, electronics, energy, pulses, electricity. You know, it was just very strange. I feel like I had some kind of an experience or like encounter. It really did feel like there was this invisible person playing with me. Like, it wasn't an NPC. There was like something next to me, like not physically, I would say, or whatever, right? But like in the game, it was so weird. Just thinking about it gives me goosebumps. But it wasn't for like because usually when you see stuff like this, it's for a very split second. UFOs, demons, ghosts, whatever it may be. Anything paranormal, I guess, right? But this was like, I could like see the outline of this character playing beside me. It's almost like, okay, this isn't like a co-op game, right? I don't think I had any NPCs with me. I don't think there was anyone in the cave. Any humans, any enemies at the area that I was in. I don't even know. But I saw like this invisible outline of this character possibly holding a weapon or something, just playing with me. Like, just walking around with me, exploring, spending time with me. But it was so freaking weird. And, you know, I wasn't exactly young at this point. Like, sure, I was younger, yeah. But I wasn't young to the point, like, I've seen stuff before, like in mirrors and the corners of ceilings and stuff, but it wasn't really quite, it was a very different kind of thing. It wasn't even like some glitch in a movie I was watching, or a TV, or static, or noise, or it was like this spirit found a way to create a character and play beside me in my video game with me late at night. I had no friends over, nothing, no girls. It was weird. So it just goes to show that this game has been very trippy for me. It's it always makes you think, like, what next? What's gonna happen next? The fact that it also has a next-gen version blows my mind. I just got the anniversary edition not that long ago. Haven't even really tried that out yet. Like, it's been a busy game. Busy, busy, busy. Yeah, the cutscenes are good.
You started this war, plunged Skyrim into chaos, and now the Empire is going to put you down and restore the peace.
What was that?
It's nothing. Carry on.
Well, I say cutscenes, but they're more like in-game cutscenes. Like, you can still move around and look around, and obviously there's dialogue, and it's very rarely they'll lock you in some sort of position or animation, or you... So it's one of those type of cutscenes. It's not like a cutscene. That's about as close as you're gonna get to one with a game like this. Which is kind of nice because it doesn't take you out of the game too much. You're still very much in control and included, and can kind of do whatever it is that you want. Yeah, the cutscenes are, you know, obviously a very big part of the game. This immersive, expansive, epic, massive PvE single player thing. You got the music, the atmosphere, the ambience, the dialogue, the voice acting, the sound effects. It just all hits so hard. Like, this is the fantasy game. This is the game. There's so many other fantasy games out there, but they don't compare at all. They've done something so great here between the dragons, the theme, the games they've had, their predecessors. But Skyrim is the king. There's so many other games that try to do this fantasy thing, but all that has to happen is things don't line up in the exact same way as Skyrim does in its own way. The color palette, the environments, everything just fit together so perfectly and so well. It's so clean, it's so fun. I'm not even gonna get into the mod stuff, like Creation Club, mods. I don't do any of that. PC, I'm not really a fan. I'm not into it. Just base game, vanilla. I've had so much fun and spent so much time with this game without any of that stuff. I never once depended on, like, hey, this game isn't good enough for me, I'm gonna, like, alter it and make it something that it's not. The base game itself, it's kind of rough. It's aged a lot, you know, and sure, playing this on next gen or a really nice PC does make a very big difference. You have the latest and greatest graphics card. You know, next gen, it helps. Because, I mean, even on last gen alone, I mean, yeah, this game was very difficult to... It just was really chuggy and really... There's a lot going on. It's a big game. You can create big save files. You put so many hours into it. You have all these things saved up in your inventory. You have all this stuff on. You've done this and that. You've explored everywhere. That's a lot of data. And at some point in time, your game does kind of catch on to that and start crashing and all these things. But yeah. I think when I got a refresher of this game recently, I was like, dude, how many new games have I played of this? How many times have I seen this intro? And I'm like, holy cow, dude. It's crazy. I've never played Oblivion, I've never played Morrowind, I'm not interested in it, they're too old, I never got into it. It was, and always will be, Skyrim. Completely, period. It has absolute power. Everything they did here just worked better. It is the most modern version of whatever it is that Elder Scrolls is doing. I mean, another great comparable game is Fallout 4. Which that's a whole different thing, but it's just, I don't know, out of everything Bethesda's done, Elder Scrolls alone, like, Skyrim is it. The name alone, Skyrim. The sky, it's limitless, like all these things, like they just praise you, Bethesda. Thank you for everything. I think, you know, especially when this game came out, what were people playing? That's another thing. I saw this game being played, I swear, on one of my other friends' houses, his little brother, on his big TV. I swore I saw them playing this as well. It might have been Morrowind or Oblivion, to be honest, but it was probably more than likely this game. But what's funny about that is my friend's little brother is a Call of Duty person. So that was kind of the core audience back then, around this time and this era of gaming and the consoles and the games that were available, whatever. It was basically Skyrim or Call of Duty. I mean, that was my world. That was all that I ever really saw someone playing at some point in time around that time. So it's pretty wild. Like, it's just an example of like how comparable this is, how big it is to something as large as the Call of Duty franchise. But this game didn't depend on guns, they didn't depend on yearly releases, they didn't depend on multiplayer, online, transactions, subscriptions, access to play online, PvP. Okay, Call of Duty has campaigns too, fine, they have zombies, whatever. But this game alone did everything. They covered everything. They did everything that they needed to do to succeed and grow and evolve to become into this thing that it is today, this giant, massive, freaking ball of energy, Kamehameha. I can't get over that at all. I just can't. Like, who doesn't love dragons? Who doesn't love fantasy? Who doesn't love, like, playing as a cat person or a reptile, or, you know, you can have whatever build you want, you can do whatever you want, go wherever you want. The music alone is freaking fantastic, dude. You got fucking Headhunters Dragonborn remix, there's Dimitri G remix, there's dubstep for days, hardstyle remixes, EDM for... It's insane. There's like Lindsay, I think there's a Lindsay Sterling remix or something. The theme song, like, bro. It's fantastic. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. It's great. Yeah, played all the DLCs. Those are fun. I had a great time with those. It was so different, so good to compared to the base game. Like, the base game was like I don't know, the butter of it. But the DLC was like the waffles, the pancakes, the stuff you'd put that butter on, and it was just fantastic. is great. Very, very good, well thought out, long, you get your money's worth DLC, and Fallout does the same thing. Dude, Bethesda's so huge, like, they're obviously in my top 5, but I wouldn't be surprised to really find out too, like, they've got to be one of the top 5, 10 gaming companies in the world, hands easily. Are you crazy? Yeah, the gameplay is good. Yeah, it's just nice to play a game, and it's always a fun topic, it's always a fun conversation, it's always a fun debate. Everything that is Skyrim, all the ins and outs, what it's all about. Oh, God, it's just so good. It's such a staple in the gaming community, in the industry, the market, everything. Everyone knows what Skyrim is. Everyone. If there's someone that doesn't know it, which, okay, we know what that audience is, but yeah, it's so damn good. I just love it so much. I can't imagine life without it. I know it sounds a little dramatic, but it's true. What would gaming be without it? I don't know. It'd be a very weird, different. Would a lot change? No, but it's because of the fact that Skyrim exists, and I think we all think, like, subconsciously think of Skyrim every single day or every time that we're playing any game. It's almost like Skyrim just resides in the back of our mind somehow, like, hey, I'm playing blah 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 game, but really I'd rather be playing Skyrim, or I miss playing Skyrim, or I wish I can be, if not playing, watching something Skyrim related, or listening to something Skyrim. It's like one of those things where I don't think other games, it just doesn't feel right. It's like Skyrim's like the love of your life, and when I play other games, I feel like I'm cheating on it in a way, like. And sure, I felt similarly like that to a lot of games, but especially with this specifically, I don't know, other games just don't hit as the same. They don't hit as hard. And sure, every game, everything hits its own way, and we perceive it and take it in our own interpretation, and kind of solidify our thoughts on it in whatever way that we output the game from ourselves to others and to the world. But yeah, just pure undeniability. I just love this game so much. Fanboy. And yeah, for me it's like, okay, I'm picky, but I'm not picky. Like, sure, I have standards and boundaries just like anyone, but there's not a lot of games out there that I can really say that I support and appreciate and like and respect this much. I'll say it and mention it here and there with other stuff, sure, but I'll never really fully express it quite the same way at all compared to this. Whatsoever. Hands down, just period. So, because, like, on the top of my mind, the only other game I can think of that I do love this much is Onimusha, which is the more obvious kind of game that I hold close to me and hold dear to me and protected and defended as much as I can. But this game is like, it's very, I think, I love Onimusha for its own ways. Japan, demons, blood, blah blah blah. And then I kind of like, I love Skyrim for its own ways. And they're very completely opposite. I suppose in a way you could say that Onimusha is like the evil side of me, right? That is a little demented in the way that, yeah, I like some blood, you know, I like some demons, I like some slashing, some mythology, culture, history, whatever. And then, yeah, the other side of me is like, I love fantasy and what it does, and it's a period piece and historical and all these things. And then somewhere in the middle is kind of like space stuff. I don't know. And then aside from the space stuff, it's like horror and all these things. But I think especially fantasy and basically anything Japanese, I suppose, is kind of like really on the left and right side scales of my scale, my bar, my level, whatever. So that's kind of what it, I guess, comes down to is, you know, yeah, I love the adventure and the quest and the journey that we take here, and it's even better when you have all your lights off, whether you're using headphones or surround sound or soundbar or big boom and stereo, and whether you're using a little TV or a big one. Dude, this game's even on the Switch. I can't imagine that. That's so weird to me. It makes sense because it's like, hey, it is an older game, like, you know, it's a very linear, very, like, the combat, the exploring, it is very, you know, it's not too complicated. It's very easy to navigate throughout the map and know what you're doing and do whatever you gotta do. There's not too many it's very simplistic, but in like the best way possible. It's very easy to play, anyone can pick it up and play it. But I think it'd be cool to play this on the Switch. I'd just be laying in bed or traveling, and like, what a better game to kind of just jump in and mess around in. You know, kill some bad guys, loot some houses, steal, pickpocket, lockpicking, talking, I don't know, smithing, do whatever you want, make weapons, buy stuff. Fuck, just so much to do. You can ride around a horse, you can... Jesus, man, the sky's the limit. That's kind of the point here, is you have this whole entire big open playable world, and you're free to roam and do just about whatever the heck you want. And I love that freedom, that sense of like non-control and like expressing yourself and just expression in general, and going about things in your own way, wearing what you want, using what you want, having your own style, your own unique special character, and just paving your own way, making your own path, creating your own destiny, making your own fate. That's what this game's all about. And that's why open world PvE type single player stuff is so amazing to me, because it's a feeling like none other. You don't really get that out of a lot of other games, whether it's point A to point B or anything PvP online multiplayer related, or it's that sense of like, I just want to find some belonging. Maybe I'm using this as an output or coping with the fact that maybe, you know, I just want to be free myself. I just want to like live in this free world and kind of do whatever I want, but in a good way, like righteously, and do things the right way, and be the good guy. And or if you want to, you can be an evil guy in this, whatever you want, I guess. Yeah, just that sense of like, you know, you can breathe, you can just relax, you can chill, you can take it easy, kick back, take your time, there's no rush, take it easy. This is one of those games where, you know, you just want to, you're not looking for like crazy action, or you know, not everything's so loud and so obnoxious and annoying and irritating, and this game doesn't make you anxious or antsy, or it's just very soothing, calming, very zen. And I don't care who you are, I think we all want that at some point in our life, or we all crave that peace, that inner peace that we all wish we could have, but we realize we don't, and we deal with it in our own ways. Fine. But this is one of those games that'll provide that for you, is this kind of comfortability where you can just be yourself, have a good time, have fun. That's it. It doesn't try to do anything more or less, just simple, basic, boom, bam, there you go, done. Easy. Yeah. Skyrim. Fun stuff. Good game. Legendary. Great. Every good, awesome, cool, rad, gnarly word you can think of. It's all of those things. Whatever can describe anything good, that is what Skyrim is. But yeah. Dragonborn.